There we go. I had to move it over. Hello, everyone. Welcome to another Artcast. Today, we're going to be looking at this uh, this beautiful, out of control creature that of a commission that I did. It's RoboCop as Melony as RoboCop, and the original commission was just like supposed to be flatline, not flatline, just a regular line commission, maybe a little bit of shading. I honestly forgot because it turned into an actual digital painting. Why did I do that? Like I spent a lot of time on this. Why did I do that? Well, one, because it's RoboCop, and that poster is just so super iconic that I couldn't. I was like, man, maybe I could just do a little extra, a little flair here, a little flair there, to kind of bring out the original, like the airbrushed illustration. And then by the time I got the sketch done, which is a fairly detailed sketch, because there's a lot of robot parts. I could ever be I could be a Transformers artist, but I was like, by the time I got it done, I was like, I've done so much with this. I'm gonna let's go full blast and just go full illustration, which I'm glad I did because I actually learned a lot of new tricks that will help me later on. For example, I did not know that they had a there's a I knew that they had it, but I couldn't figure out why the pin never worked. It's this ability to to control I forget what you call it, the density, or the density of the pen, of digital pen after the vector pen, after you draw it. There's something about my pin settings that the pin setting that I cloned and made my own with my own special little settings, it doesn't work with that anymore. But the original pen tool, the digital pen tool, works just fine with it. So I don't know what the hell I did or did not tick or click, or if there's just something up with the program, but it does make a very nice little. You're just able to very nicely control the occupancy or the opacity of line art, and I was able to get a nice shading effects and really work with the shadows. Other than, I just wish there was. I wish you could do the same thing with the actual fill tools for the vectors, but airbrushed pen works just fine for that. What was I gonna say? Oh yeah. Also, looking this up, I got like actually into the notion of technical drawing, which is draftsmanship. Goes sort of hand in hand with architecture and stuff, which is like drawing, but again, it's a whole different beast, because technically there is a wrong way. And like everyone says, oh well, there's no wrong way to draw, you just do it, which is true. But technical drawing actually needs to stick to some rules of perspective, not some rules, all rules of perspective. So when you're like designing a house or a building or machinery, it is you have to like really stick to those conventions. Case in point, yeah, this is just RoboCop is a machine, and you have to machine those parts out of the paper. I was sitting here thinking, like, well, would it this been faster if I did it in like Blender, if I actually modeled the parts? And I'm not sure. And I think I did this again, one, because I wanted to do the poster justice, and two, I was like, well, why didn't I just model any of this in Blender? I'm working in Blender not right now. I'm looking up a tutorial to figure out how to transfer some uh, vector weights onto clothing, and I found a nice little tutorial. We're going to go through it, and I'm going to look at it right now. Okay. Control Shift, Object, Link Transfer Data. That's it? Link Transfer Mesh Data. Okay. That's cool. Boom. Oh, wait, which one do I do first? The clothes and then the bottle. I also did it just because to see, like, to just do it, to like knock out some cobwebs, and it came to digital painting. It's like the Mount Everest thing. Like, well, why'd you climb it? Well, I just climbed it because it was there. That's sort of rule. Hello, May. How you doing? I want you to get rid of. Oh. Hide. Object. Transfer data. Transfer mesh data. Okay, we got vector groups. Face data. Wait. Okay, I'm in over my head. Vector groups. Okay, I did that right. I did this one other time before. Active. All layers. By name. Okay. Did that do anything? Oh, okay. Then I reselect it. Boom. Boom. Right. Okay, that's how you do clothing. Do you do empty weights or automatic weights or empty groups? I should really look at the video first. Going out somewhere after or later. Very nice. Cool. Oh, speaking of a sort of an 80s legend, I just found out that the artist who was in charge, the artist who basically set the ground rules and the actual initial design for Warhammer, who set the tempo for the whole series moving forward, sadly passed away. 77. You know, I look back and see Grandma, and I really realize how blessed she was. I've been to like 93. Because 77, I think it's the average. I don't know. Still seems a little young. He could have like kicked around for like 3 more years. But his artwork. Warhammer's a funny thing. Because when I initially saw it, I was like, ugh. I was just kind of turned off by it because it just seemed so. Just everything's just so. It seemed bleak and nihilistic and just so. I don't know. It just there's something off-putting. Also because there is a large community of alt-right who have sort of co-opted Warhammer. Who also did not apparently get the joke, because that's kind of what it was. I finally got in with a bunch of people who were like, explain it. There's a wonderful little YouTuber that goes on and he does these funny videos that sort of take the piss out of the whole, like show how like, oh yeah, this is this is comedy from far enough away. Eerily tragic and salient the closer you get, but like the further back you get, it's just like, oh yeah, this is meant to be like a weird, goofy anomaly. And you get that from the artwork, because the artwork is both badass, but at the same time, just like irreverent is what I would say it is. I look at the modern like Warhammer stuff, and some of it is like a little too not I wouldn't say polished, even though it is very polished, but that's not a knock against the artist. The Warhammer community has some amazing artists. There's also a figure painter that I follow. Several of them, and they do all sorts of these weird, wonderful things with the figures, transforming them into actual raison d'être. No, that's not the word. What's that French? In media res, of just things happening, like a figure he'll cut off half of it and then print out this little grid, and it'll be the figure teleporting it from space somewhere, or he will actually calculate the proper weight distribution for a ship to look like it's firing a laser. And he just fantastic work with an airbrush to like actually trick the eye into thinking like light sources are coming from specific places on the figure. Wonderful stuff. But I digress. There's just Warhammer was like walking in on a joke. Then you're in the middle part and it's like something horrible and violent. He's like, and then I beat my wife with a hammer. And it's like, oh my god. And then someone gives you the punchline, and then it becomes obvious that it is a joke. But you're like, oh well, I didn't. I don't know. I don't understand that. But now, seeing that artwork, seeing the initial spark and the initial well that this all's kind of sprung up from, is like, oh, okay, I totally get it now. This is like, it's the same feeling I get when I look at Ninja Turtles. Is like, oh, that is such a dumb idea. Let's run with it and see how far we can actually go. And oops, we're like really super attached to it now, and we can actually say like poignant things to it. I sure hope no one misconstrues anything about all this, like the obvious message that like this universe is just awful, is a magnification of all the awful conflictions that we have on our own plane of existence. I hope no one just thinks it's cool. But anyway, yeah, that artwork is just it's great. The art strokes and the brush strokes are like really wonderful. And I was just like, oh, it was like Frank in Always Sunny. It's like, I get it now. Empty grooves. Okay. So that's the transferring of the weight. Ah, okay. Okay, cool. Now I could just do that. Okay, let's see if this actually works. Boom. Come on, baby. Object. Oh, that's very nice. Little bit of drifting here and there, but this is great. This will work out fine. Okay, I'm gonna make a little skirt. I would have to say if I ever got into any sort of faction in Warhammer, it would probably be the orcs. Because they seem like the most, I don't know, wholesome out of the whole bunch. Like, I don't want to, like... The whole joke about making Trump the God Emperor is that the actual God Emperor is this rotting corpse in the back of, like, some closet. Just, like, clinging onto life, and everyone else has to be like, oh, isn't he so great? Which makes me think, like, maybe someone, like, did the shitpost unironically. Or ironically first. Hey, Zoo. Yes, I have been... I'm sort of, like, aware that they bend belief to their way of... The first thing I thought, like, the first Warhammer funny that I've seen, and I'm using quotation marks, but you can't see that. The first Warhammer funny was, like, we're a tank, 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 we're a tank. Yeah, exactly. And then they were just the tanks, and they, and their rocket ships are literally just rocks that they explode into outer space and then just ride them. Those seem to, like, those are the race. That's the race that seems to have held on the irreverence that I get from that original artwork, and then managed to, like, pull it. It's the thread that pulls it all the way to the modern age. Because I watch those shorts and it's like, oh, I'll do this for you, brother, or you know, all the Space Marines just kind of. I have no idea what Nurgle is. Those are just like weird space monsters, and then you've got the techs or the robots. You know, the weakness of your flesh and everything. Yeah, all fine, all good. Space Marine armor is actually, like, exceptionally well designed. I think, like, StarCraft, like, originally, like, that's what they aped off their main guy from the Warcraft armor, which is fine. Reiteration, keep the things going. My favorite thing is that they smack the back of their guns to make the bullets shoot better. Okay, well. Right, the slimy and the manure and the mildew and all that stuff. And sickness is what the Nurgles are. And then I guess you got space demons? Or mind demons, psychics? Or something? But anyway, I look back at that original artwork and the Sisters of Battle, or the Angels of Battle, or something like that, and I'm like, oh yeah, that's it. That's the missing component. If you were there from the beginning and you looked at that, you'd be like, oh, awesome. Okay. Yes. I think I colored the lips first. I was like, okay, well, I'm just going to play around. This is me playing around when I was like, I'll just play around for a bit, see what I can do. And then I just did the face, and I did that, and I did the helmet. I was like, oh, damn, that looks actually really good. Okay, I'm going to dedicate a couple weeks to doing this. This is compressing the file into the 2 hours. It's about a 14 hours of work, which is actually not that bad. I may or may not have lost a couple hours here and there, just because OBS kicks me out sometimes. But yeah, 14 hours sounds right. And again, I'm not a digital painter. I used to actually quite enjoy doing all this stuff. I tried my hand at it in college with a lot of Photoshop and stuff like that, and it's still effective. And I think if this were just a regular character and not RoboCop, like with all the armor and the shiny stuff, I think everything may have gone a little bit faster. With actually like flowing clothes and just like little just parts here and there. But other than that, this turned out really good. I am, in fact, I want to go through the playthrough and make a compilation and have this be one of the title cards. Oh well, I'm fully invested in digital because it's just easier to work with. No, actually, no, I take that back. It's got its different ups and downs and challenges. I work off several things now. When I'm out and about, or walking my dog, or just hanging out, or watering the garden and the yard and doing yard work, I will work on my phone. That's Paint Ibis. And it is it's very similar to digital artwork. It's very different. But it has its limitations. But on the other hand, I'm running around and I'm getting artwork done. If my phone is on the verge of dying, I do have a backup little sketchbook that I will sit there and work with digital drawing. And then scan some stuff, scan ideas in and work on that. I very much work in digital now, but I have done pieces for mainly, like, oddly enough, birthday cards. Let's see, like birthday cards, postcards to people who've sent me stuff. But yeah, I'm fully invested. I'm invested in digital mainly because it also cuts down on resources. I don't have to like go and buy a ton of like paper, and then in order to share it, I scan it in anyway. I applaud people who work with like the physical mediums. They're amazing. But here I'm just able to like manipulate the image faster. And now I'm starting to get into modeling on Blender again. That is awesome. Okay. What's the matter, buddy? Oh, he's doing his nails. Oh, you know what? There were several times when I was looking up that clip. Robo wants an Oreo. I especially like the God. Someone should do that. Make a compilation of all the different YouTubers that have done that. I think the two best friends did it, and then I think my favorite one is by their deconstruction of let's see, my brother and me, when they talked about it. Justin just cracking the hell up when he's like, Robo wants an Oreo. He was pissed off about it. if you look at that interview. So it's like, I don't think anyone wanted to like put that into a meme for like Mortal Kombat or anything like that. Awesome. Totally awesome sauce. Okay, I guess I gotta work on the head now. Oh, let me save. Something, it's doing something. Blender's doing something. I don't like it. Okay, good. Oh, that is damn Oreos. Not anymore. Pardon me, do you have any Oreos? Not anymore. Um. Yeah. Again, just like this originally all started as play, and then it just got super serious with like, okay, well, this is how I would do it, and this is how. Um, if I had to start from the beginning, I would do things a little different. There's another artist I follow on oh, what was it? I want to say Blue Skies, but I think I see most of their videos on YouTube Shorts, where they do this thing where they'll show you the different layers that they work on, and they start with flat colors, which, as you'll see, I'm going to start doing. Um, soon enough, you'll see. I'm just going to start working with start making the flat colors, um, and not just work from point to point to point, because then you lose the colors that you're trying to work with. I think is what I found, because then the color picker only goes so far, especially after you've worked on it so long. You're like, well, no, that color doesn't match right when I try to use it in this context. So what they do is they work, it's a fairly standard production, or a fairly standard process, where you start with your flat colors. You sketch your flat colors, then you do everything in grayscale, and then in one layer, and then then do your detail shadow, and then your highlights on top of that, and then any little extra thing on top of that, like just corrections, little things like that. um and it definitely makes everything easier. There's a point where I try to adopt that. I adopt that process, as you'll see coming up soon. But then I also immediately I abandon it as we get closer and closer towards the the end of the project, because at that point I'm just like, okay, well, just it is. It's literally when my mind went like pressed against it. I'm gonna put you here, because I definitely want to see what this does. That's the okay, I goofed. Well, I can re-rig this. In fact, I'll just get rid of it now, and then I still have the meta rig. Mesh. We want a circle. I did, at the end of it all, I did bring it into Clip Studio and tweak a few things here and there. Like the kneecaps, I shrunk one and grew the other because one was way too big and one was way too small. So I just kind of maneuvered that a little bit. Made the boobs bigger, of course. Hey, Boreal. Triangle. Ah, there's the garbage. You guys are good. You're doing good. You don't even care. You know what? I'm talking to my dogs. You know what's what. Yo, Worms, how's it going? Things are going good. Things are going okay. Trying to keep on keeping on. No. Where is... Oh, wait, no. Is this... There we go. This is what I want. Okay. Oh, yeah. Absolutely. Is this on... Is this Discord or is this DeviantArt? I heard a good thing about I heard good things about Detective Sheep or the Sheep Detectives. There's a video, Pop Culture Detective, ironically enough, and he did a good little short about sort of how the sheep have this process of being able to like forget trauma and whether or not they choose to like handle things or ignore things. It's a very, from that point of view, it seems like a very loaded movie. A lot of potential to like look into like the philosophical nature of both community and responsibility and stuff like that. DeviantArt. Okay, gotcha. Is Heisenberg is one of the sheep, right? From Breaking, I was going to say, there's two Heisenbergs now. You can either refer to Heisenberg from Breaking Bad, or you can refer to Heisenberg from Resident Evil. Edge, edge, edge. Clear sharp. We do it again. Do it again. One more time. There. Oh, geez, that's a lot. Okay, hold on. Do I want to hide input? There's got to be a way to like get rid of that. Like get rid of the object after you're done. Anyway, I'm babbling again. I'm babbling to my own self. Smooth, por favor. Wireframe, that'll work out fine for me. Oh, I can decimate this a little bit. Generate, decimate. Um, 1,000? Okay, 1,000 vertices. Much better, much better. Okay. Okay, really? The sweet spot looking near. I heard it compared to like Babe mixed with a few other things. So that makes sense. Oh, good. The good Sonic movie design. That's great. That totally makes sense. He's very he can make things look nice, somewhat realistic but photogenically appealing. Wait, what the hell's going on with this? Huh. Okay, something's... Right, that's good. I heard he, like, yeah, took over for that. No. No. Why is that so small? Why does it do that? Smooth sphere. Okay, I screwed something up with my sculpting tools. There's some button I hit. I wonder if I can turn it off. Here, let's see. Save. You have to bring it into another file folder. Oh, okay. That's good. Whatever it was, it's set back to normal. All off, sphere. All off, projected. It was a big week for AI, but what with De Niro and what's his face. Funny thing is, like, who was it? It was like two people came out and they were like, "Oh yeah, I'm working with AI and shit." Not De Niro. Scorsese saying, "Oh, I'm interested in this crap." Meanwhile, that morning, everything like Claude was shut down for like forever. I was like, "Yeah, sure, this is the future." It was an animator that I don't know their proper name. The only thing you would know them from is that they did a bunch of animated dance sequences from. It's too much. They did animated dances on Teen Titans Go. Other than that, they've done other stuff sparsely here and there, like the opening for the Harley Quinn movie. What else? Opening for the Harley Quinn movie. You may know their original work, which is just like, I don't know, day in the life of like a couple Armenians. Not very, nothing quite caught on. But he just does these little dance sequences mostly, and then he was like, he went on like months and months and months of being like, haha, AI can't do anything. Haha, look at this. And he would do these AI videos and post them on his YouTube, being like, well, here's their version and here's my version. And it was under the guise of like, well, clearly his version is superior, which it was. And then he said, oh, I finished this experiment where he took his original drawings and then threw them into Deep Seed or CD or Shady, Scammy. No, this is a third guy. This is another third person, but he threw it into CD and then it did okay. It just colored his stuff for him, turned it into like 3D, and it works nice because you can't tell. Everything's moving too fast. The dance itself is like maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 frames long. So the dance itself is 6 frames long. It's a loop. It doesn't like connect, or he doesn't do anything really fancy like spin or move the camera or anything. And he was like, "Oh man, this is great." Basically giving away the plot that he wasn't like ragging on AI the whole time. He was trying to experiment with it. And now a whole bunch of like shitbags are coming out of the woodwork like, "Yeah, this is great." And to that I say, does he think he's the first person to think of this? I did a video about how Klaus used procedural shading, and that was different because one, that was you needed to it's very much on the same principle of those that video or that video guy, like he makes those videos. I'm trying to think of his name, and but I'll describe his technique. It's the one thing where he'll rotoscope over a live person, and there's a program that fills the in-betweens for some of his rotoscoping. And even he says, "Oh, well, this has got like it's super limited to what he could do, but it helps him with his workflow." It's very similar on the principle of the way they shaded Klaus. You go in, you have your colored image with line work and everything, and you set down where you want the shadow to be on one frame, and then end it on another, and it interpolates. Blender does this crap. It's called interpolation. It's nothing new. The only new part about it is that you're paying Deep Seed, who is then generating it out of a giant warehouse, using up a shit ton of resources that you could use on just other people to like do it. Or you could have like made an actual program to calculate colors, shadings, things of that such. Proprietary technology. No one has made any proprietary technology because they've already made the proprietary technology. Do you think people don't have the ability to interpolate 3D models? Like that's all these that's all Hollywood studios have. Is that's their ability. What generative AI does, it has to copy pixels from other places, and then it screws up. So I just think it was funny that one, no one had thought about giving. He thinks no one but him thought about giving the computer a sequence. Like he discovered interpolation. And then people were like, "Oh, this is it's I forget who, some bunch of hacks who, like, one of them was an animator. He says he created Mushu. He was an assistant animator on Mulan. Him and his brother. And they were like, "Oh no, this is good. This is healthy," and some other schmuck trying to make a. The funny thing is that there are people who are not using AI that are getting tons and tons and tons of attention because they're actually making super insane stuff, like the Digital Circus or Game Oververse and stuff like that. And this guy's been in the game. These guys have been in the game for like 30 plus years, and they're no Gendy Tartakovskys. So it's almost like, well, you know what? Maybe you actually have to do a little bit of legwork. There's no, as I said before, there's no make artwork button, but you can make there are lots and lots of make art. You can make a one-man band where you like connect this part to this part to this part. Let's see, I need. You know what? I'm gonna do some of this. Oh, wait. Well, hold on. I gotta sculpt this. Where's the strength? Okay, here we go. Okay. 2D blend. There's no shortcuts, baby. When it came to Gutierrez, Jorge Gutierrez, I think that's no, it's shitty. Him going and being like, it's a punk duck that's using like stolen resources to make a dumb AI thing. First of all, that artwork looked there was a second character in that image. Oh, there are plenty of people that are like Gendy Tartakovsky. You've got they just make their own things. Gendy doesn't work alone. He works with all these other talented people. No one works alone in this. Let's see. Okay, here we go. This is what I want to try. Tools, view, items, edits? Yeah, view surfaces. I want mirror. And what we're gonna do. There we go. Nope. L. Move forward, por favor. Ah, beautiful. Beautiful. Okay. That's fine. How accurate did you go with the poster airbrush look? I mean, I tried to emulate it, but I didn't go full on. I couldn't. I I mean, I could, but I was like, that's too much, and I still wanted it to be like a little cartoony. Um, but yeah, I tried to do it as sort of close as I could with my skill set now. Here's the original, or here's the final image. I think it turned out pretty great. That hand could maybe use a little work, but this one looks great. Yeah, it was just also it was a good exercise in like visualizing where shadows and highlight just lay in sculpt. I think of it as like sculpting. It's like sculpting the um the figure. Also, who's a modern Genndy Tartakovsky? I would say Owl House creator is now working on Knights of Guinevere. We'll see what Matt Bradley has to come up with when he reveals his, Clara in the Underground. Alex Hirsch, who's now also going to voice his third little short king in a row. Okay, get rid of that. Apply this. Solidify, sure. And apply that. Boom, boom, boom. Edit. Union. No, not union. I want to. Difference. No. Slice? No. Difference. What? I'm trying to get this to cut out of it. Union. No. Difference. Oh, I know what I'm doing wrong. Here, let's see. I need to get rid of... no? Oh, that's okay. Well, what's wrong with that? Why isn't it? It's just an orb. Oh, criminy. Okay. Boom, boom. Or maybe it's this way around. Select this object, do the difference. I just want to cut out of this. No, that's intersection slice. Okay, now it's disappearing, so I don't know what to do about that. I don't want that to happen. Blender. Primal, I'm not sure if he's working on another one after Primal. I mean, he most likely is. I don't know if we're doing anything with I was gonna say Bravest Warriors, but Warriors Eternal. Uh, okay. We've got okay. Something just dropped. We've got Dealies. Opening title of Dealies, the new animated series by the creators of Common Side Effects and Scavenger's Reign. I have no idea. This is a grocery store? Again, it's very psychedelic, the opening. I kind of wish they did more Common Side Effects. This is a Netflix show that they're going to do. Okay. I don't know if this is a farce or if it's going to be something like super weird. What was that one show? Seventh Heaven? No. Something like that. It was the Superstore. The only thing I know about it is it had like a dead body in the wall. Yeah, Holy backed away from it, but also like backhandedly said, "Oh well, everyone's using it." It's like, no, not really. The two other projects that were announced during that press conference were the Cupcake one, which I didn't know about that one, but the creator of the original concept of the cupcake basically said, "I don't approve of this. This is bullshit." So that basically tainted that project. And then the third one is just like a preschool K-pop demon hunters, but they're not demon hunters. It's just ripping off demon hunters. It's just preschool rock girls. So, meh. I was not did they really do that? No, just say the thing sucks and move along. Don't go after the kids and wife. You have access to them. I don't know what I would say to the kids and wife if they, I say, "Hey, sorry, kid, I don't like you. I wouldn't. Don't do that. Don't do that. Hey, Mr. Nobody." What was the thing is I don't know if George is like, he can't be naive to like the conversation around the whole thing. Again, he's in animation. He produced a thing for Netflix. So he can't like, he's still working. He can't like be oblivious to the whole controversy going around this surrounding everything. But I was gonna say he might have like, I don't know if he's bought off on it or if he's actually thinking like, "Oh yeah, this is the next step," or if he's just high on his own supply. Because remember, he's the guy that let's see, I'm gonna verify something real quick. Mucha. He was working on a show or a movie for Warner Brothers Animation for their theater department, and he says this anecdote about how one day they basically just after the Iron Giant they decided to dissolve Warner Brothers Animation, or at least that incarnation of Warner Brothers Animation, and be like, and people were like, "Well, just take what you can out of the offices, the computers and stuff, And so apparently he called his wife down, and he and his wife grabbed a couple computers because it was literally up for grabs. And they sat down and started messing around with Flash. Let me see. I just need to verify. Come on. I don't want pictures. I want this. Yeah. No, maybe not. Maybe I wasn't. Here, let's actually look him up. Jorge Gutierrez. Jorge R. Gutierrez. Let's see his. When did he first work on? Really, El Macho? Maya Miguel was his. He was a writer for Maya Miguel. He worked on Brandy and Mr. Whiskers as a writer. El Tigre, he was a writer. So he's more of a writer than anything. The one thing that he really got into was The Adventures of El Tigre, Maya and the Three. Guardians of Oz is a feature film. Oh my god, that's a Wizard of Oz version of his stuff. An untitled Speedy Gonzales movie. Okay. And then I, Chihuahua. For some reason, I thought he was connected with Mucha Lucha. Hold on. Okay, he did work on Mucha Lucha. I was gonna say, the thing about like working with Flash animation or the vector style animation from such an early point is that that style of production can support the very kind of detailed work that would become a hallmark of his style. You go back to El Tigre, you've got a lot of detail on some of the outfits. Line work. I'm not talking about I'm talking about like costume design. Stuff that is just baked into the Mexican culture. If you've seen a lot of like screen printing or just any kind of print work, and look at the magnificent detail. A lot of either beautiful flowers, geometric lines that are inspired from like Mayan culture, candy skull patterns, stuff like that. It lends itself very well to being mapped onto a vector layer and then manipulated either within 2D or 3D. That way you can get a lot of detail in costume, but a relatively stable line of production. Again, look at like the Book of Life, where it's every costume is just lusciously designed, magnified like maybe tenfold for Maya and the Three, which was a really good little short animated miniseries. Not big on story, but I assume that's more or less just meant to be like, well, this is the mythology of what happened. And so I think, again, I don't know if he thinks I'm going to be the one to tame this new stuff or whatever, but I was not impressed with just the still of Hunky Duck, which is this bright green duck, and then you barely notice it, but there is a second character in that, and they do not the cat character is like really weird and stiff, and her hair is completely different. Like, she looks like a rag doll. She looks like an object, actually. Here, let me bring up what I'm talking about here. This is something that we need to like maybe address. Punky Duck. Okay, here we go. I'm gonna do this, and I want you to like pick out the second character. Oh no, not a web. Copy. Why is it a web B or something? Save image. Here, can we get it? Okay, yeah, here. And then we're going to transform to fit on screen. Okay, so apparently this was made with it's computer generated. Even though I sort of doubt it, I don't know exactly, because these are just two of the same assets. These posters are the two of the same. If you zoom in on some of this stuff is some of this stuff's nonsense in the back. Even like what is that? Lack Pingus? Black Poons. Okay. Bad Baku. That's again Viva Yo. You can make out some of this stuff, but some of this other stuff I don't know. Also, this character again very stiff. Look, that's just a pose. That's like she's posing. She seems to be she feels like she's made out of paper, while Punky's hairstyle and just overall demeanor just looks like to be made out of clay, which is why when this came on, I was like, it took me like six times looking this over and over and over again to realize there was a second character there. Also, let's bring this up. The more you look at it, there's the worse it gets. I'm going to ignore the fact that his hand isn't gripping the can in any like actual specific way. Like, he's only got, that's his thumb, apparently. I thought that was his index finger, but he only has the 4 thumbs, which means that there's no thumb holding that together, which means he's just kind of holding it palm open, finger on top, the can just levitating in his hand. Okay, there's that. And then there's I could just shrink this down while I there we go. Let's just focus on Punky, which is just plucky. Again, the hair looks like it's made out of clay, not like unlike the other character, which makes the other character, again, I thought it was an object. I thought she was just a thing. I'll tell you what, Grey Delisle's not going to be voicing this character. Or if she is, it's going to be weird after she threw a fit about how someone like mimicked her voice with AI for that Scooby-Doo thing. But anyway, okay, what we have here is we've got the shoulder, we've got the bicep, the brand around the bicep, and then the forearm. Look over on this other arm. You've got the shoulder. You've got, what is that? That's 1, 2 lumps here, 1, 2, 3 lumps here. So, is this a forebow? A boulder? And you look back at his like other artwork, He doesn't have that. He doesn't like foreshorten that last arm in the back to make it look, he doesn't like give the 2 in the back and then 3 in the front. He will have characters that are just 1, 2 or 1, 2, 3, but not on the same. And again, I don't know if this is an image that he fed in and then it just did it or what, but it's not amazing. Testing. Okay, good. So anyway, I just got to get that off my back. Wolverine for the PS4. Nice. Nice, the Owl House. I think I've been fairly honest with all of you when I said I downloaded what was it? What did I play with? I played with Olama. Just to mess with it because I messed with a few online things for like writing. And I was like, after a while you sort of realize the magic trick, which is it's autocomplete. It really is just fancy autocomplete. And even not that great of autocomplete because it doesn't. There may have been like a 1-day cycle where I was like, oh, okay, this is interesting. But after you like a while, you're just like, well, I could just write what I want. At some point, you're just like, I know what I want. And this is not what I want. Hey, Condor. And then I downloaded Olama because I was like, well, no, if you want to do it right, I've heard people who were like, oh, do it, download your own thing. And that way you don't run off anyone else's electricity or anything like that. And I was like, oh, well, okay. And I did it, and it's just as crappy. It's not great. I gave, what's that one thing that works on? You could only operate it on Discord. I paid like $7, got access to it, didn't do a damn thing I wanted. I don't know. The only thing I could think of when people like post digital AI artwork. Well, first of all, it's AI artwork because it's riddled with these like weird errors, like I was talking about, like the weird thing with his hand. That's his thumb. That's not his finger. It looks like his finger, but it's not. It can't be because he only has 4 digits on that other hand. So which means that must be his thumb. But then the fingers aren't wrapped around the can in any way that would keep it up. Again, you're just like, you didn't do it right. You didn't do it right. What was I? And what was I? What was that? It's not DaVinci Resolve. That's an actual editing program. Something. Anyway, it just the only way I think they can actually get a good result they want is if they baked it over and 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 over again. And by the time you do that, you might as well just have learned how to have drawn something or have modeled something. DeviantArt also does that bullshit. I think I have access to like 10 generated models. I used it once, didn't do nothing. I think I once asked it to make a beach, and it like sucked. Oh yeah, I just signed in now. I'm just looked into DeviantArt now, and then saying you have create your own models, but they've linked to Grok. Screw you, Vivo, double screw you, and C Dance. Go to hell. Let's see. I have a boost, and I don't know what that is. Use one free boost. I get because you can't just use analytics. You can't just like categorize what you want now. You got to boost everything. And these AI things, they get like 4 comments. Let's see. Let me go back to mine. Let's see what Princess Melony's got. Boom! I got to open up Firefox. I'm sorry, what? A bomb threat and hostage situation took place at a Chase downtown? Let's see. Don't tell us where you're at. What? You're Condor. You're Canadian, right? Or am I thinking of someone else? I'd buy that for $1. Let's see what we got here. Pardon me. Okay, some of my DeviantArt is pretty clean still. Let's see. Well, here's Captain Hook with a Warner Brothers logo in the corner, so. And no views, no comments. Like at this point, we're just like burning oil. Kit has taken over, which is good. Good artwork there. Yes, they're mostly hand drawn. Oh, I'm thinking of Kevlar. Okay. Condor, Kevlar. Shoot. I got teacher brain. That's I sound like one of my old teachers. Anyway, close that out. Garbage, crap, garbage, but, Pixar face. Some of this stuff I'm looking through a bunch of AI crap now. The thing is that I've seen this before. I know exactly what artwork they're like aping off of. Gerda something. I've gotten into like some muscle mommy stuff. I know exactly who the computer is trying to emulate. So now I'm thinking, this is just Photoshop without any of the actual work associated with it. No, that's, and then there's this chart right here. It's gibberish. Just download for free. Yeah, they actually, again, I can only assume that they get this by running it through a mill like 1,000 times or hundreds of times. Because I never get this results. But then again, I get bored after like the second time. I'm like, well, this is garbage. You never see anyone actually like posting their workflow. Like no one does like, okay, well, this is what you have to do, because apparently if you did it, I assume you would just feel like a jackass just sitting there being like, well, hit repeat again, hit repeat again, hit repeat again, hit repeat again. Oh, I used all my tokens for the day, so I'll see you guys all tomorrow. Okay, we're here again. Hit repeat 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 again. There we go. Apparently he signed on the Marty signed on a year ago to do this weird stupid thing, so he's just like a face. And then the video itself was embarrassing because he gets on there and he's all like, well, I generated a medieval street. And it's like, well, there's a car sitting right there. And no, this is not medieval. This is just like maybe European. Is that what you wanted? Oh, and it shrunk a road. So that's cool. No one could do that in Photoshop. Da, da, da. The thing is, why get rid of your storyboard artists? Those are the things that are just eh. Should have never given him that pity Emmy. Ugh. Should I worry? Should I care? Let's see. How did I get to Olive and Company? Yeah, okay. I know how I got here. Also here's this. Are you guys watching Kai Lenti? Kai Lenti. He is a German programmer and comedian. God, he's hilarious. Okay, upper management meeting. I gotta give you this to you. This is one of his recent. His videos are like complete babble, other than they have. I mean, it's all like techno babble, which means something to someone. But I only get like every other word. But beg your pardon. Kyle Lenti. There we go. Kai Lenti. Upper management. There we go. Upper management meeting. Well, of course, you're doing a superhero movie. You gotta stage all the action beats. It's weird that Scorsese has like a problem with like Marvel movies, and then goes and does this bullshit. But then again, he's almost dead. The old world is dying, and this is now the time of monsters. Anyway, check this out. This is a funny bit. Oh. Wait. He was going on about that stick just because his flick was stuck on Netflix at the time. What are we talking about? I was going to say yes. Martin Scorsese, like that Conan meme. Martin Scorsese, the voice actor who played Marty in a Shark Tale and also the weird monkey thing in the new Star Wars movie. Okay, now I got to figure out what to do with this. How do I want to cut? What am I? How? Right. Like all his stuff is like he's got such a weird comedic timing. It's like so perfect. It reminds me definitely very much I don't know, like Kids in the Hall stuff. Anyway, do they still have it there? Controversy. Professional pipeline, including use of announcement with backlash from his fans, calling a sellout after the career. Okay. Getting back here. Oh, nice. Very good. Ow, ow. Mm. Okay, why isn't this working? Why isn't this cutting out of this? Okay, let's see. Let me try something different. Let me save this and then get into something else. I have to perform some experiments. New. General. Okay, I'm gonna make a spear. There's always a weird setting that you do when you're working in Blender and you knock something or something doesn't always interferes with something else. Okay. Edit. Boolean. Difference. Okay, that difference works fine. I want to know what's going on with this. Don't save. Oh, wait, maybe it's not closed? Maybe it's not a closed shape? No, they're closed shapes. I think they are. Or maybe they're not, they just generated. Okay, here. Normal, recalculate outside. That's always something you need to do. Recalculate outside. Okay, that was interesting. Why is there like 5 layers? Okay, I gotta actually clone the eyeballs. I want to keep them. Okay. Oh, okay. I see what's going on. I got the mirror modifier. I've got a bunch of other modifiers loaded. There we go. I don't need those. Okay. I'm doing an escape room thing. What was yours? I have no predictions other than the fact that it's something to do with when Jax had his panic attack, when he realized that it was all real. He did something by thinking that it was all just a bunch of computer, video game nonsense, or his own brain shutting down, or something like that. Or him thinking it's just like a digital dream or whatever. That's my shot. I haven't been following it like as much as everyone else, but I did watch that one with Kane. Okay, here we go. Blend. Oh, I know which one. I think I know which one's yours is, Worm. Let's see. With the one with the watch? Yeah, okay. I'm gonna use Moho for that one. Let's see. I need a union difference. Good. Okay. I want a specific kind of blend. Let me see. How is this going to work? Mesh. Use materials. This is about 1,500. That's how many vertexes we. No, we have a. Okay, 1,000 vertex. That's triangles. What the hell? Don't show me that, Blender. Don't show me that shit. Yes, normal. Detect hard edges. I don't think we need that. It tried to do it. Now it's just breaking down. Come on. Remesh. Better. Much better. Almost perfect. I just need to get rid of this triangle. These two triangles. Merge, merge, merge. Perfect. All right, great. Now I got a face. You're right, whatever that counts. There have been a few episodes of regular show the last tapes, and I feel weird to see them doing it early. Yeah, I mean, that's like kind of a weird revival thing. On the other hand, it's weird early stuff, but then you got like, you know, knowing what's going to happen with Margaret, knowing what's going to happen with Mordecai and you know, again, Margaret, Mordecai, what's her name? Eileen, the little beaver girl, the goat of the whole show. Yeah, Goose works. Oh, this is a great card. Yeah, I was going to say that. The whole thing at the beginning with Pops, that's what really intrigued me. And then they sort of just, like, I watched like maybe the first 7 episodes and was like, oh, are they not going to like cut back to the stuff with Pops from time to time? You know, have that be a framing device? Or is it just going to be something that happens at the end? I would have very much liked there to be like a mini mystery with Pops. And Heaven, apparently. It's very much like the whole framing of, it's a VHS. You know, these are your memories. The way there's a bit of like nostalgia bait in there, but on the other hand, you've got very much the like, this stinks. Why can't I keep both? Have my tape and a digital version, which I've done. I've done that for like a bunch of other things with my family's videotapes and everything. But the guy selling it, we're gonna stream it to you, and it's gonna be part of a collective and all that stuff. Very much reeks of sort of like the what's his face being a little passive aggressive about like maybe making some deals with Hulu and getting burnt on Close Enough. Oh, well, they've got to get back to it at some point. It's the beginning of the show. I just assumed that it would be revisited a bunch of times. I don't know. I thought some of the episodes were okay. The burrito one was fine. It's fine they're doing a bunch of like early stuff, but I guess I'm like the Goldilocks of regular show fans. I sort of like that one, the mid-season, where it was like, okay, I've gotten to know these characters. It's funny. I really thought I would hate Muscle Man, but then there's that one episode where it's just like, oh no, he's cool. He's got his eccentricities, but he's like, he knows how to get things done and does it out, figures it out. High Five Ghost was just, I don't know. There's some episodes dedicated to him, but I was like, every character I thought I'd hate, which was a bunch of them, turned out to be like really solid dudes. Like I thought I'd hate Rigby. I thought I'd hate Benson, or at least dislike him. I thought I'd really, really dislike Muscle Man, and he's just like he's just a bro. Turns out Mordecai was the one that was just like, oh. And again, you've got the ghosts. High Five Ghost. He can just, be around. Wow. Oh, I'm watching the live stream. Okay. And I'm behind by like 5 minutes because when you stop it... Okay, there we go. Anyway, let me go back and then pop this on. Anyway, we'll figure out what happens at the big end. I assume Pops thwarts whatever nefarious plan that's going on and gets the help of the Frisbee guy and his partner, his buddy. Wink, wink, nudge, nudge. But anyway, yeah. I'm very happy with the way this turned out. I'm glad I got back into like little digital painting a little bit. I will have to try it again. There may be a point where I have my own little personal project and keep it on the side and work on it every so often. But the thing is that I didn't want to lose any steam on this, because I knew if I lose steam, then my technique would get wonky. I haven't nailed down an actual painting style yet, or a process to keep everything uniformed. But we'll work on that. Anywho, thank you all for joining me. I'm glad we were able to sit down and talk a little bit, and I will see you when our paths cross again. You all be good, and I'll maybe see you tonight. Okay? Have a good one. Bye.